So I was hesitant to do this piece, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, what's tough? I asked myself that question. And I think I've asked myself that question my entire life. So, the Spartans, they took one male citizen from each family, say between the ages of 7 or 10, and they threw them in the agoge, a brutal military school that was designed to turn boys into soldiers and also devotion to the state. There they were starved on purpose, and they whipped them if they got caught stealing food. And they were whipped and lacerated not for stealing, but for getting caught, for not being resourceful enough, for not being cunning enough. Was that toughness or was it just conditioning? Many Spartan boys died. It was expected because their world didn't measure toughness by kindness. It measured toughness by how much pain you could endure without complaint. Some women will walk 1,000 miles from South America to North America with a toddler in their arms. And they'll pack contraceptives, not because they want them, but because they know they'll be raped repeatedly along the way. And that's even before they reach Mexico, before they cross the Sonora Desert, which is a wasteland made for reptiles and scorpions. Is that toughness? Or is that necessity? Or is that desperation at fever pitch? There are single mothers right now working two, maybe even three jobs, living in neighborhoods forgotten by politicians, neighborhoods where misery is served like bread and butter, and where hope is rationed out like it's water in the desert. And they keep going. No medals, no applause. Is that toughness or is that survival? There are people stranded in the wilderness, people fighting through hurricanes, earthquakes, famine, people clawing their way through life after life collapses all around them. When my father came to America in the early 80s, he was 26 years old, didn't speak a lick of English, came from a war torn country where there were sanctions and barely anything left to eat. And his first job to survive and to provide for me was delivering newspapers in South Central Los Angeles, where crime and gang violence and death were everyday facts in that particular area. So he would deliver newspapers at 3 in the morning, and that was probably the best part of his day because when he was finished, he would go mop the floors in Beverly Hills. He would go chauffeur, and he worked for some rich, abusive employer where he got humiliated every day, kicked around, got his dick knocked loose, and he took it every day. And he took it not because he was weak, but because he was building something. Now, 40 years later, my father, he had his own business, started in the garage of our house. I saw him with my own eyes. Built it from absolutely nothing. And after all that, his own business partner betrayed him. took everything he built, maybe even the house. He also lost the house in a recession. At 69 years old, after war, after exile, after building and losing everything, he wakes up every morning, walks 8 miles. Throughout his life, he went to war with diabetes, with alcoholism, depression, humiliation, every day. Not for glory, not for applause, but because his destiny was the path of a warrior. That's tough. What about those tough bastards at D-Day, storming the beaches of Normandy, while the German machine guns were cutting men in half? And the Germans knew they were coming. So they prepared traps and mines and murder holes and machine gun nests with the same precision and ingenuity and cruelty they used to build Mercedes Benz. And the American soldiers knew that they were walking into a slaughterhouse and they charged anyway. Was that toughness? Or was that something even deeper? Something like devotion to the man next to you, to the mission, or maybe to surrender to eternity? So I asked myself, what's tough? A tattoo on your chest, a mean stare in a nightclub, a bench press PR, some mean shit talk online? No. Toughness is the ability to endure hardship. Toughness isn't measured in your wins. It's not measured in your kill counts or your knockouts or your bank account. It's measured in your heart, in your scars, in the quiet wars you fought alone, and how many times you got knocked down and decided to rise without fanfare. That's tough.